Possibly one of the most underutilized tools and gifts that we have available to us is the I-131 Advanced Parole Document. And I want to talk to you about 3 reasons that I love advanced parole and why I try to file for it anytime I have the chance. So it gives clients, well, that's kind of one of my secrets in the video, is it gives clients the freedom to choose. Hi, I'm immigration attorney Hillary Walsh of New Frontier Immigration Law, and I help immigrants live free in the United States. And part of that freedom is getting to choose when and where and what country you visit on your timeline. And the I-131 helps you do that in 3 different ways. Number 1, if you currently have DACA, you have your DACA work permit, you have your social security number, I highly recommend you travel on an I-131 where you exit and re-enter. You will have to have a very specific reason, unlike other I-131s where you can just go because you want to go. With the DACA I-131, you have to prove specific reasons. And if you look at the USCIS website for what those are, it'll give you kind of a rundown. But it's basically you need to visit a sick or unwell family member, or you have a work opportunity that you have to travel to that country for. The reason it's so important to travel on this I-131 is DACA is not permanent. It's not a permanent solution. And with each presidency, we see that it becomes a more and more eroded opportunity. It's not expanding. It's getting smaller and smaller. And the Supreme Court is basically not wanting, the last decision from it was basically the Supreme Court not wanting to axe DACA because it would really mess over a lot of amazing people. But at the same time saying, Biden, you got to do better. And at the end of this year, Biden may not be in office, and President Trump, last time he was here, he already axed the program, and that has lived throughout the last 4 years of Biden's administration because they have not been able to revive it. So if you have DACA, this is the time to travel on an I-131. Do not wait because the opportunity may pass you by. And here's why it's so important. Most people have DACA because their parents brought them to the country when they were young, and they brought them without permission to enter the U.S. So even if you marry a U.S. citizen, you're not able to adjust status because you don't have what's called a lawful entry. When you leave and re-enter with an I-131 that you've got because you have DACA, however, you will re-enter with permission, thereby allowing you to apply for your green card once you get back to the U.S. Even if you're not married to a U.S. citizen, you might have a kid someday who turns 21 and that kid could petition for you because, yep, you got it. Now you have the lawful entry because you left the U.S. and came back on this I-131 while you had DACA. And you may say, hey, I'm not married. I'm, 21 years old and I have no intention of getting married anytime soon. That's all well and good. You may also not want kids in your life. That's all well and good too. If for some reason you marry someone someday and they have a kid, or let's say you get married someday, in 15 years, a lot can happen. You will have this lawful entry, this opportunity. Once you re-enter with your I-131, you'll have it forever. So it's like a savings account. So I highly recommend you investigate this while the opportunity is here, because if DACA goes away, so will the opportunity to travel on advanced parole. And this could just basically be sand falling through your fingers. Number 2 reason I love advanced parole, and I file it with as many applications as I can, is because if you have a green card pending and something goes wrong in your home country and you need to, under emergency circumstances, visit your family, we already have the I-131 filed. And that means that while your green card is pending, you can travel. If it's approved, you can travel to your home country. You can travel really anywhere. You don't have to go, unlike with the DACA that I was describing before, with an I-131, you can travel anywhere. And you have permission to come back in the U.S. because you have a green card pending. But if you travel outside the U.S., while your green card is pending without first getting the I-131 approved, your green card will be considered abandoned. So you'll have lost the filing fee. And if you re-enter with your tourist visa, you're probably going to now need a fraud waiver because you clearly are coming back, probably not to stay, temporarily, but instead to stay and try to pursue your green card, which you already did previously. And this is going to cause you problems left and right, where simply filing for that I-131 is going to be a really good choice for you. Now, if you have issues like criminal history or the permanent bar or any other unlawful presence bars, any other grounds of inadmissibility, I'd really talk to a very experienced immigration lawyer. You can call me at New Frontier Immigration Law, because the last thing you want to do is travel outside the country and then not be allowed to come back in because you've got some other issue that obviously in this video I can't really foresee and forecast for you. So you'd want to talk to an immigration lawyer before actually actively leaving the country on your I-131 if you have any criminal history or if you have any other kind of red flags or complications in your green card application. Last but not least, I love the I-131 to be filed right after you get a T visa approval. The reason this is so important is because you've been here usually with a T visa for a long time. And if you just got your approval, you're not actually able to, apply for a green card for 3 years in most cases after you get your T visa approval. However, with an I-131 and a T visa approval, you can travel outside the country. You can go back to your home country and visit family. And this helps you reunify. It helps you live your life. It helps you live free. At the core of it, the reason I love an I-131 is because it gives you the freedom to live your life like anybody else would if they had papers. And now, because you have this green card application pending, or you've got a VAWA or a T visa approval, or maybe you've got DACA, you have documents, you have legal permission to be in the United States, and this will also allow you to travel. I talked to a client earlier today, and she was concerned that maybe she shouldn't take any photos of her visiting her family while she was, and post them on Facebook while she was out of the country. And I told her she's lived for 26 years not having permission and wanting to stay below the radar. She has permission now. She has her T visa approval now. She's going to travel outside the country now, and she can live her life. She doesn't have to live in fear or by anybody else's standards anymore. She can post this journey to see her family on Facebook. She can enjoy it. She can, stay for the whole month. She has the freedom to live her life. And she has that because of New Frontier Immigration Law. If you need help or want walked through the I-131 process to see if it's the right avenue for you so you can live free, vive libre and sin miedo, without fear, please give us a call at New Frontier Immigration Law. We're here to help.